Distinguished guests, if you are able, please stand. Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Dame Cindy Kittle, Governor-General of New Zealand.
Ki tēnā o tāta. E hōnore he kororia he maungarongo ki runga ki te mata o te whenua, e whakaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Aro haena ngā taina, me ngā tuakana, e noho nei rungi te whakaro ko tahi, pai ngāri.
Pai ngāri.
Please be seated. E ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā iwi o ngā hau e whā, tēnei aku mihi mahana ki o koutou. Nau mai, hara mai, ki te whare nei, te whare o te kāwana tianara, ki tāmaki makaurau. Kia ora mai tātou katoa. Distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to Government House in Auckland for today's investiture ceremony. I'd like to specifically acknowledge the Honourable Andrew Bailey, Minister of the Crown, Mr Joe Harawira, our kaumātua, and Ms Pauline Hopa, our kuia. Tēnā koutou katoa. Hosting investiture ceremonies is one of the most important duties that I perform on behalf of His Majesty, the King of New Zealand. I'm delighted to bring together such an extraordinary group of New Zealanders. You have each brought pride and a greater sense of well-being to Aotearoa through your outstanding achievements and your service to our communities. On behalf of all New Zealanders, I extend my sincerest thanks to you for your contributions. After each recipient is honoured, I invite you to join with me in congratulating them. Mr Ward Carmore will now summon the recipients and read their citations.
Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Knight Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Sir Ian Mune of Kumiu, for services to film, television and theatre. Sir Ian Mune is an award-winning actor, writer and director for stage and screen who has been a pioneer in these professions in New Zealand and has focused on telling the stories of New Zealanders in an authentic voice since the 1970s. Sir Ian was appointed an officer of the Order of the British Empire in 1991 for his services to the theatre and film industry, having worked on developing these industries as a viable profession in New Zealand. His notable earlier film productions include co-writing seminal classics Sleeping Dogs in 1977 and Goodbye Pork Pie 1981 and directing Came a Hot Friday 1984. Since 1991, he has continued contributing to these industries. He directed Once Were Warriors, award-winning sequel What Becomes of the Broken-Hearted in 1999, the coming-of-age drama End of the Golden Weather in 1991, and The Whole of the Moon in 1997. He directed the 2008 Depression-era telefeature film Life's a Riot and the 2011 documentary on the life of New Zealand comedian Billy T. James, Billy T. the Movie. As an actor, with more than 70 screen roles to date, he has continued to perform in a variety of film, television and theatre productions, most recently in the miniseries The Pact, 2021. Sir Ian has remained connected with new generations of actors as patron of the Actors Programme since 2012. Sir Ian Mune, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mr. Philip Gifford of Auckland for services to broadcasting and sports journalism. Philip Gifford started his career as a reporter for the New Zealand Herald and then the Auckland Star. He wrote a column under the pseudonym Loosehead Len, a rugby character which ran for 36 years. He has since written columns for the Sunday Star Times, North and South Magazine and the New Zealand Herald. He attended and reported on 1 Olympic Games and 4 Commonwealth Games and has covered all Rugby World Cups and Test matches played by the All Blacks since 1987. He hosted radio shows on Radio Hauraki, 91ZM, More FM, News Talk ZB and Radio Sport. He hosted and contributed to television shows including Game of Two Halves and That's Fairly Interesting. Mr. Gifford has authored 27 books, including Dame Valerie Adams' biography, Valerie. Mr. Philip Gifford, please come forward. Mrs. Theodora Gertz of Auckland for services to gymnastics. Theodora Gertz competed in 3 gymnastics world championships, represented New Zealand at the 1964 Olympic Games and won 5 national titles. In 1972, she coached the New Zealand gymnastics team competing at the Olympic Games. She was a program coach and manager at St Mary's Gymnastics Club in Onehunga. Since the 1970s, she has led the Auckland Primary and Intermediate Schools Gymnastics Competition Series to provide school children the opportunity to become involved in gymnastics. She was a member of the Auckland Women's Artistic Gymnastics Committee and has participated in the New Zealand Gymnastics Championships. She has been a coach and judge with TriStar Gymnastics in Auckland for more than 30 years. Mrs. Goetz has achieved brevet judge status, the highest judging qualification in the Federation of International Gymnastics. Mrs. Theodora Goetz, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mr. Toa Vaneva of Kerikeri for services to Māori. O Toa Vaneva, Ngā Tika Uki Whangaroa and Ngāpui, was CEO of Te Runanga o Haingaroa, providing health, education, emergency housing, financial capability and social services to the community. He holds leadership roles with Te Kau o Taonui, the iwi collective for Tai Tukarau, and has, with several Māori providers, also done so from Te Tai Tukarau. He chairs the Ministry of Social Development's Māori Reference Group, Te Kāinga Atawhai, a subsidiary company of the Mātauranga Māori Centre for Learning and Navigation Excellence, and a 14-unit public housing build based at the Mahurehure Marae in Point Chevalier. Mr. Whaneva is Te Tumu Whenua Arohe, Executive Director for Te Pūkenga for Te Tai Tokerau. Mr. Toa Whaneva, please come forward. Mrs. Anuradha Ramkumar of Auckland for services to Indian classical dance. Anuradha Ramkumar established Nritya Binaya Anuradha's School of Indian Dances. She has worked to preserve 2 classical forms of dance, Bharatanatyam and Kuchipudi, and has been a guru, teacher, to more than 500 students across 26 years. She has provided opportunities for future generations of New Zealand Indians to maintain links to their cultural heritage through dance. Her students feature in community events across New Zealand and her annual dance productions. She has incorporated elements of Māori culture as an ode to recognising connections between Indians in New Zealand and tangata whenua. Mrs. Ramkumar has directed several dance productions depicting Indian mythologies and social themes. Mrs. Anuradha Ramkumar, please come forward. Dr. Rangi Takanawa of Te Kuiti for services to Māori art and heritage preservation. Well, Dr. Rangi Takanawa, Ngāti Mani Apoto, was a Kaitiaki Taonga textiles conservator at the Museum of New Zealand Te Papa Tongarewa. As a third-generation weaver, she is a recognised exponent of raranga and whatu, the Māori art of weaving. She advises on the treatment and consolidation of degraded black fibres in Māori textiles. She does preventative conservation work on kākahu, cloaks, and whāriki, mats, in museum collections. She delivers workshops showing kaitiaki the best practice for the long-term preservation of taonga in their care. Dr. Takanawa co-authored an essay for the Getty Museum publication, Refashioning and Redress, Conserving and Displaying Dress. Dr. Rangi Takanawa, please come forward. The late Mr. Rob Tucker of New Plymouth for services to photography and the community. Rob Tucker was a photojournalist for newspapers in London, Auckland and New Plymouth and taught photojournalism at Auckland University of Technology, Western Institute of Technology at Taranaki and Whitireia Polytechnic. He has published 35 educational and specialist books illustrating topics of interest to children and promoting regional New Zealand. Two of his photos have appeared on the cover of Time International magazine. He helped establish a photojournalism section of Qantas Media Awards and was a foundation member of the Karl-Heinz Reipen Trust, which donates funds to Taranaki causes. Mr. Tucker was the driving force behind the Brotherhood of Journalists charity auction for Hospice Taranaki in 2022. Mr. Rob Tucker's insignia will be collected by his wife, Bonnie Tucker. Please come forward. Your Excellency, the investiture has concluded.
New Zealand's honours system is our highest public affirmation of outstanding individual achievement. It reinforces the things that make our society better: service, manaakitanga, and the pursuit of excellence. To our recipients, it has been a privilege to hear your stories. You have each used your talents and abilities to improve the lives and our taonga for fellow New Zealanders. In doing so, you embody the works of President Barack Obama when he said, "In the fleeting time we have on this earth, what matters is not wealth or status or power or fame, but rather how well we have loved and what small part we have played in making the lives of other people better." I urge recipients to wear your insignia with pride at every opportunity, knowing that you inspire others by your example. On behalf of the King of New Zealand and all New Zealanders, I congratulate you on your achievements, and I thank you once again for your service to our country. Kia ora koutou, e hoihu mai nei I tēnei rā. Now you will see on the back of your program the words to the national anthem in Te Reo Māori and in English. I now invite you to stand and join with me in singing both.